I bring up, Trump and the resorts and using them and stuff like that, and I'm critical of it.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, man. There's more pressing matters than me getting upset that, Trump put up some Air Force men at a golf resort, like the riots in Chicago, for instance.
Yeah.
In June, Trump offered up federal assistance, and Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago said, I don't need lessons in leadership from Donald Trump. We're going to take care of this. And sure enough, now, about a month and a half later, Chicago lights up with insane looting and rioting and ransacking. And we had the story. Check this out.
This is crazy.
So I'm sure most of you have heard this by now. I mean, the story was massive. Chicago is crazy. They pulled up the drawbridges.
Yep.
That trapped people inside.
That's nuts.
And trapped people outside. So check it out. Chicago has an area downtown where the Chicago River comes out of the lake and then creates this like peninsula where you got the lake on one side, the river on the other. They pull up all the drawbridges, and if you're downtown, you're trapped downtown. If you're north, you're trapped north. So imagine, you're north. You're in the Mag Mile. The looting and the rioting breaks out. You panic. So you run south. The bridges are up. You're trapped.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is.
There's still ways you could flee and get out of there, but this was nuts to see in Chicago. And there was an alderman, and he nailed it. Okay, so for those that aren't familiar, aldermen are like local jurisdiction politicians in Chicago. He said, "Where was the plan? How did you not have a plan for this? The mass looting and rioting across this country just happened a month and a half ago.
Right.
So you had no plan to deal with mass looting and rioting. And apparently the looters had no real reason to do it. They made it up. They were just going out there waiting for that moment."
Yep.
Yeah, so now the mayor is saying, we're coming for you. She's issued a warning to looters who ransacked Chicago in a night of straight up criminality that saw 100 arrests and 13 cops injured. Dude, this is nuts, man.
Yeah, it is.
They were shooting at cops.
Wow.
Cops were shooting back.
Wow.
Yup. It was war, man. Chirac. And some dude fired multiple bullets into a Gucci window. People were scattering. There's one video where people are walking and all of a sudden you hear start bang, 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 and people start running and screaming. That's all it was. The funniest thing is there's a video of a woman looting some kind of mall shop or something.
Okay.
And she's looking for that thing to remove the security tags.
Yep.
And then she yells like, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. No, she's running around trying to find the keys.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't breathe. Oh, man.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah, it is.
So, look.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Look at this,
I didn't know
look at
they
this
were
right
in
here.
a shootout with the police.
Yeah, dude.
That's nuts.
Yep. And there's one video of a cop slumped over. We don't know what happened. People.
Wow.
Yeah, he may be shot. We don't know. Getting first aid.
Defend the police,
13,
my friends.
13 cops injured. I mean, look, man. I gotta tell you, it is a crazy world when you get me defending CPD.
Agreed.
I've had a lot of bad interactions with Chicago cops. They've had a bad history. But this is beyond the beyond. Look, I get it, man. I've actually had some good interactions with cops. I've had a cop save me from a mugging.
Yep.
But I've had more negative interactions than positive ones, and some pretty bad interactions. But this is nuts. I can have beef and be like, I'm annoyed with the police for certain things.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to the cop who saved me from that mugging for sure. But this is crazy. Look at this right here. This is some dude using, I think he's driving an Audi.
Yeah.
And he smashes through the window. People were cheering.
How'd you do that to your car?
I guess I don't know, man.
Chicago
riots.
are nice.
I remember back when the White Sox won the World Series,
Mm-hmm.
it was crazy, dude. The riots were nuts.
I thought that when the Cubs won, it was going to be crazy riots.
It wasn't.
But it really wasn't that nuts.
Just walked down. Some windows got smashed up.
True.
But that was about it.
But the parade was I think it was like the 7th or 8th largest human gathering in history.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
crazy,
dude. 7 million people showed up.
These people.
Nuts.
So I was talking to my family about this. I got family in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they're saying that no one fears the police anymore. They know the cops can't touch them because
messed up.
The viral videos will spark more riots and they feel untouchable. You got we got tons of photos, man. It was a wild and crazy night. And I bring this up specifically because if Mayor Lori Lightfoot in June said, "Thank you, Mr. President. I am honored and humbled by your offer of federal assistance to deal with our crime. We look forward to working with your offices and your law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
Let us know who we can contact to organize an appropriate, enforcement action." That simple.
Yep.
Professional and calm. And then she could have called and said, "Here's what we want to do. We want your federal officers to follow the requests of our local office, local supervisors who understand the context."
Just go help.
That's simple.
Clearly need help.
That's simple. So right now what's happening, this is my understanding, this is what I'm told by people in the area. The Operation Legend, the FBI agents, they're doing desk duty, and that allows more cops to be on the ground doing police work.
Oh, okay.
So Trump's not sending people in to go police the streets. They're just filing paperwork. All she had to say was, I appreciate the offer for assistance. Let's coordinate. Done. And now what do we get? After mass looting and rioting, and them, they're ransacking stores, they're shooting at cops are getting injured, 100 people getting arrested. She looks like, man, what a dumb mistake.
Definitely.
Really dumb. It's here's what I don't get. If they hate the president so much that they would let their cities burn just to claim they oppose Trump. That is a toxic political situation.
Agreed.
So you've got one political party in this country that is dedicated to watching everything around it crumble. It's a kid having a temper tantrum. Basically. I'll hold my breath.
Yep.
So because you're mad, you're going to hold your breath. You're the one suffering, not me. Go ahead, do it.
And then the police chief, the Superintendent David Brown and Lori Lightfoot went on a press conference today, and he's talking about, the cops, the reason they don't have any, not the cops, but the people that they're arresting are just being let out.
Yep.
The judges aren't doing anything. They're just releasing them all.
Kim Foxx,
So go ahead.
the DA, has released 25,000 people.
That's insane.
She's dropped 25,000 felony charges against people. It's a near 35% increase from the previous DA.
Wow.
So to your point.
So he's sitting here saying that, like, the police officers are doing their job. It's not even the police officers anymore. It's these the rest of the system that's just letting them out. So there's no accountability. There's no consequences. So no one's afraid anymore, like you were just saying. And so a reporter was like, well, it sounds like you're saying that they're not doing their job. And and the Mayor Lightfoot walks over like, whoa. Excuse me. Don't bait us. Don't you bait us into this.
Yep.
It's like, that reporter was right. They aren't doing their job. They're letting them out. The cops can't even do their job anymore. The people are like, whatever, I can do whatever I want, and you can F off, cop, because I'm just, they're not even charging us all. They're just letting us go.
Let me tell you about Biden.
It's your fault, Mayor Lightfoot.
Yeah. And she gloated in it.
Yeah.
She wanted to mock Trump. There could have been ATF, or there could have been CBP or ICE, and there could have been on the ready, waiting at the command of local cops, local superintendent, chief of police, saying, "Here's what I need you guys to do." And they say, "You got it, buddy. We'll help you out." Trump offered that assistance. They denied it. So let me tell you about Trump's America versus Biden's America. Okay, Mayor Lori Lightfoot hates Trump so much that she's willing to let the city burn, have no plan, and reject Trump and insult him for it. Okay, let me show you something. Jake Paul, yes, famous YouTuber Jake Paul had his home raided. And they did it because the FBI agents were searching for video evidence of Jake Paul's Arizona mall looting incident when they raided the YouTuber's Calabasas mansion and emerged with assault rifles.
You called it.
Here's what I said. What specifically are you referring to? I don't want to.
I'm saying that you called it, that they were looking in his house for footage,
right,
of what was going on.
So the feds see a video of Jake Paul in a riot, and they say, "We're going to enforce the law." And they've gone after him. They are going after people like crazy. They're giving they're it's legit.
Yep.
What we saw with the NYPD, this dude tried cutting NYPD brake lines. It's alleged.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so the local judge released the guy with no bail. So the feds immediately come in, lock this guy up. And now it's being upgraded, I guess, to federal charges, probably because the DOJ is like, these local jurisdictions keep cutting these people loose.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and not only cutting them loose, like in NYPD, for example, they were responding to an 11-year-old getting beaten. Yeah. And they showed up in en masse to help. And then a huge group of people started saying, "Get out of our neighborhood," and started tossing stuff at them, and they had to retreat. So these cops are getting their authority stripped for them, and it's going to be lawless land before no time. It's like, these people have no respect for anyone, let alone police officers.
You can't do it. So here's what's happening. The reason why I bring up the Jake Paul thing, it's not just about him. The FBI is investigating, which means that video footage that Jake Paul has, it's going to be able to identify a bunch of other rioters and looters. Now, whether or not that's what they're going for, that's what it looks like. They're looking for evidence.
That's a good point.
They're gonna look. This is a guy who's probably got HD footage of this.
Yep.
He knows how to make a video, and now they're going to be able to look at all the people who did this, and they're going to let them know we are coming for you. Meanwhile, in Portland, night 74 of the riots last night, and what happened? Cops got injured, burned with mortars.
Yep.
They're marching through people's residential neighborhoods with bullhorns, yelling, if we don't, no justice, no sleep.
Wait, Tim,
something like that.
I thought it was about the feds being there.
Yep.
I thought they were saying that because the feds were there, they were there. And if the feds would leave, they would leave.
Lies.
Yes.
And now Trump has said the National Guard should be deployed in Portland. And I see that and I'm like, well, you know what? They had every opportunity to accept federal help to deal with these. They didn't do it. They're marching through residential neighborhoods. It's only a matter of time before somebody loses their life over this.
Definitely.
They attacked some woman at her house. There's a video of them on some dude's property and he's screaming, "Get off my property!" And they ignore him. They don't care.
There was that. They're
on his back porch.
That viral video of like, I don't know, a group of Antifa showing up to some small town, and everyone showed up to get them out, and they ended up pummeling these guys. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Where was
Fort
that?
Collins.
Fort Collins, yeah.
And how did TMZ frame it?
Oh goodness, I didn't see
TMZ
this.
said
What?
Black Lives Matter protesters like brutally beaten by pro-police.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
That's ridiculous.
No, here's what really happened. Antifa tried acting a fool in a Fort Collins neighborhood, and so a bunch of locals came out and said, "Get out of our neighborhood, commie scum."
Yeah.
Antifa started backing away, and then somebody on the Antifa side attacked a guy in a wheelchair, so the dudes were like, "Nope," and they wailed on this guy.
Yep.
And you know what? You attack a guy in a wheelchair, they're gonna defend themselves. They're gonna defend this guy, and so these guys got stomped out. And the cops came in, and then the Antifa started fighting with the cops. Of course, TMZ said Black Lives Matter protesters brutally beaten. And it's like, dude, come on, man.
No, in that video, they were very aware.
It's true.
They were
but
like,
still.
look. We have a kids party over here. We got to lead Antifa this way, so they can't get anywhere near the children. You know, it's like they were wise. They knew what they were talking about. They were clear-headed. These guys were just getting them out of the neighborhood, and it's like they clearly didn't like it.
No. But you know what's interesting? That Antifa is going to these areas where they don't live. It's like they're trying to terrorize local residents.
Trying.
In Fort Collins, they failed.
Okay, good point. We have
quite the opposite. They got terrorized.
That's true.
It's not fair to say that though, because the locals were just defending their neighborhood. But I remember when the riots broke out, my family in the Chicago suburbs were saying people from outside their neighborhood were demanding the right to protest in their towns.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing in Portland is they're screaming things like fire, gentrifier, and no justice, no sleep.
Yeah.
So they're bullhorning at people's houses, waking them up. There's one video where they're outside an apartment yelling, "We're going to burn your building down. We know where you live." They say something like, "If you have to wake up in the morning, you've been indoctrinated by capitalism."
Wow.
These people are nuts.
That's most animals, unless you're a nocturnal hunter, go to sleep when the sun goes down and wake up when the sun comes up.
Listen.
It's not for everyone.
When these people talk about scarcity being fake and how universal basic income and all these things, I'm like, dude, we are not yet across the barrier of post-scarcity.
Right.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.